Good afternoon or good morning, guys. I chose to pick day 5 and day 1 from your packet that relates to central idea and theme. So that covers two of the objectives that were put into this packet work. So let's review. First of all, central idea is, of course, the main idea. What are you supposed to understand the most from reading this passage? And then to infer that concept, of course, is to use what you know from what you've read, put it together to take your best guess about the answer. So when I was reading the passage about freezing rain, I noticed two things. The first paragraph focuses on exactly what is freezing rain, and the second paragraph focuses what is the damage that freezing rain can do. So if you look at it that way, there's two different parts of the article. This is the definition paragraph. This is about the damage that freezing rain can cause. One of the ways that I was able to figure out that the article was mostly about freezing rain was I read it and I saw freezing rain in the first 2 or 3 sentences. Freezing rain, freezing rain, freezing rain, over and over and over again. So I looked to see here what exactly are we talking about with freezing rain, and then I realized, oh, well, this is all about a definition of what does it do, what is it? Okay, so if I'm looking at the central idea, okay, what is the central idea of today's passage? Well, let's look also here at paragraph number 2, where it says freezing rain can cause significant damage, and then the rest of this paragraph is all about the different kinds of damage that it can do. Okay, so for example, we have it can make walking difficult and driving difficult. Okay, it can take weeks to clean up. Okay, the weight on the trees and power lines can cause power outages. Okay, and then it can also take a long time for the power lines to be repaired. So again, I'm going back to this. How did I know that this was the definition? Freezing rain occurs when liquid precipitation falls and freezes when it comes into contact with surfaces. Okay, the rain falls through a colder air level. Again, all of this is your terminology and your definitions, which tells you exactly what is freezing rain. So if I start now with the question, what is the central idea? Well, we talked about paragraph 1 was a definition, and paragraph 2 was the damages that this freezing rain can do. So if I'm looking at A, fallen trees can cause power outages and take time to clean up. Well, yeah, that's true. That's an idea, but is it the central idea? Well, I don't have anything about my definition included, so I have to rule that out. Okay. B, freezing rain can occur on power lines and sidewalks. Well, that's true, but is that really the main focus, or is that just part of the focus? Again, we have to have something that talks about everything that's been mentioned, and we said paragraph 1 was about the damage. Or excuse me, paragraph 1 was about the definition, and this was about the damage. So I'm guessing that C is going to be my best answer, because here I get part of the definition, freezing rain falls as a liquid, and then I get also paragraph 2 where we talk about the damage. Alright, on to question number 2. What inference can be made from today's passage? Well, let's go back to our definition. This is one of our goals and objectives this week, is to focus on inferencing. And so inferences are guesses based on what you know. Okay? So going through, repairing fallen power lines can be a complicated process. Do I have something that goes along with that? I believe I do. Repairing a downed power line or restoring power can take days or longer. So from that I could figure out that it is a very difficult process. Okay, what inference can be made? I can infer that. All right, warmer air temperatures, I'm looking at B. Warmer air temperatures in the atmosphere are uncommon. Well, I really don't remember if that's mentioned in the article or not, but doesn't really focus on that freezing rain. So we got to be talking about some of the complications here caused by the freezing rain. And I don't really see how that the warmer air temperature fits as far as part of something I could infer anything about. And then we're looking at sleet is the most common type of winter precipitation. And again, that's not a focus, anything really with sleet. So I have to rule that out too. And my answer should be A, because I've got some kind of evidence that makes me want to infer or figure out that that's the answer about the repairing the fallen power lines. Okay, up here, the vocabulary word that we were focusing on is accumulate. And all we have, we don't have, of course, dictionary.com. So all we have is our sentence with the word accumulate in it. Freezing rain that accumulates to more than 1/4 of an inch can cause down trees, which can take 2 weeks to clean up. So I'm looking for something that might help me know what the word accumulate is. And I'm trying to figure that out. It said that the freezing rain, of course, is going to fall, and it's going to be more than 1/4 of an inch on the trees. And that means it's going to build up and it's going to weigh something down. And so accumulate, then, looking at my answer choices, the only thing that fits, of course, it's not falls. It's got to be deteriorate. Nope, that doesn't make any sense because that's decay. So it has to be, when it says more than 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to know more than, and it means it builds up and it's getting bigger. All right. So if we were looking at the central idea and we wanted to write a summary to sum up what the central idea is, okay, going back to what did I say? The definition is addressed in paragraph 1. Sometimes if you can break up paragraphs and come up with a little main idea about each main paragraph, then you can sort of figure out how you've got to combine. So this was, again, the definition paragraph here. Okay, and this, when I was looking at it, I decided was the problems and causes paragraph. So I need to make sure I mention something about the definition and the problems in my main idea statement. So the article defines or explains what freezing rain is and some problems that it can cause. And I'm going to stop the video and we will move on to the next section of this sheet, and I will post that later. Thanks, guys.